Jeff Evely, what is going on, kind sir?
Hey,
What's
Jeff,
up?
how's it going?
Hey guys, going good. How you doing?
Not too bad.
Good.
Yeah.
Jeff, Rob, Jeff.
How's
They
it going,
already know
sir?
each other, so
Nice to meet
he's
you, Rob.
also a Baldy, so
Yeah.
you fit right in with the Baldies.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Just a
We
couple of
got
three
the,
ball guys just shooting the shit.
Yeah, we got a bunch
So-
of bald, bearded, beautiful bros on
That's
board
right.
today. That's- yeah.
Jesus,
couple of beauties.
bald,
Bald
beautiful
beauties.
bros. Man, that's the triple B's.
Yeah, it's nice.
I like to
Old,
alliterate.
Bald. Funny enough, I was added to the Justice Center for Constitutional Freedoms news releases because we've had John Carpe on the show 3 times in the past month or so. He's kind of becoming our constitutional
show,
lawyer for all the problems that we're seeing with the bills that are trying to be passed. And I got an email last week showing you. I'm like, what the fuck? I'm gonna reach out to Jeff and see what's going on. So if you want to break it down for our audience,
tell us
and
what's
going
going
on, man.
Well, I mean, as you can see, I attended the trucker convoy January, February 2022. 18 February was the day that they brought in the big crackdown, and I was running the shift schedule for the veterans who were standing on guard for thee at Canada's National War Monument after we took down the fence that Jim Watson had put up to smear the convoy as peeing on the monument or something like that. Of course, none of us ever believed any of that stuff, but to appease the Ottawa Police Services, we said that we'd put somebody on that monument 24/7 in order to keep the fence down, just to assuage any of their concerns about patriots peeing on the monument. I naturally ended up with the early shift, being the guy running the schedule. So I was going in for my 4 a.m. shift, and the police had cordoned off like the entire downtown, and we had been in touch with the liaison officers every single day. Like, we were coordinating with them. I was going by, and they said, basically that I couldn't go to the war monument. And I was like, yes, I can. I'm going for my shift schedule. Check with your liaison officer. We've been doing this now for weeks. She said, no, you can't go up there. And I was like, well, yes, I can. And so I just kept going. They told me to stop. I defied that illegal order by giving chase, and went down quite easily, once it was clear, like the arrest was being effected. I never had any doubt about that, and I didn't put up any kind of a fight or anything like that, but I just wanted to make sure that I satisfied my own duty to defy illegal orders before I did go down. So that's kind of what happened in a nutshell. And I was charged with mischief and obstructing as a result of that. Eventually, I was found guilty at the initial trial, and we were just seeking an appeal last week, but the appeals court denied us the new trial that we were requesting. Chris Fleury is my JCCF provided lawyer, by the way, and he's excellent. Now, coming out of that, it's kind of more of the same that I saw from the initial decision. Like, the language being used in the courtroom was about an illegal protest and an occupation. They were making reference to the fact that the Emergency Measures Act was invoked, so things must have been really serious. Those of us who were there, of course, know that was all of a fraud, and that was the most peaceful demonstration of true patriot love I think I've ever seen in my entire life. But they're still. I might as well be getting tried by the CBC. That's how I feel when I'm in Ottawa courtroom.
Wow, zing! That's good.
I mean, it's hard not to notice the difference in just the zeal or that they are going after people of certain, for example, Tamara Litch, yourself,
Exactly.
there's other people that are in the news lately. When you've got other people who are committing crimes that are maybe, if it's a violent crime, especially if you are, of the right identity group, you're out on bail for your 5th time. Doesn't matter if you killed someone. Doesn't matter. You get all the protect. It's almost like they reluctantly charge and prosecute other people. But when it comes to right wing or not even really, but at least political causes they can place in the right wing, then you can tell they relish it. They get off on it in a way that you don't see with anyone else. And it's hard not to notice that.
It's impossible to notice it when you're sitting in the witness box.
I can imagine. I just mean as someone on the outside looking in, but if you're on the inside, I'm sure you feel that every day that you're subjected to this.
I do. And what I would say in terms of the zeal, because I think you really hit that nail on the head. That's what I was saying to Chris as well. And I did make this juxtaposition when I was retweeting the article from the JCCF too. I mean, just in the last couple of weeks, we had a guy arrested for trying to pay a 15-year-old in a hotel room for the girlfriend experience.
we covered this story.
Yeah. I said something to the effect of, I can't help but feel I would have gotten a more favorable outcome if I were engaged in that kind of behavior, as opposed to going to Canada's National War Monument wearing my war medals to
as a veteran, no less, right?
Yeah,
unreal,
full medals, everything. Yeah. So the thing about it is on the front, the zeal, the prosecutorial zeal front is they're relying on case law precedent that was set during the convoy. Personally, I think that it's all bad. I think they're setting nothing but bad precedent, and it's highly inappropriate for them to be relying on these cases while they're still so fresh. One example would be Rumlewski, which is one that they relied on heavily. Now with Rumlewski, he was already inside the zone. It's a little bit different than my case, but where I was on my way to the monument and he was inside the zone while they were clearing people. And he refused to leave and sat down, passive resistance, this kind of thing. So he got the same charges, mischief and obstructing. And he at the initial trial, he was found guilty of obstructing, but he was let off on the mischief. The Crown actually appealed that mischief charge, got him convicted on the appeal, and he has since passed on, so he's no longer with us, I'm afraid. But his widow is pursuing further legal action through the Supreme Court on this matter. So to my mind, as a layperson, this appears to be a live controversy, and yet it is still the precedent that they were using to convict me. So yeah, I think that's probably the result of the kind of prosecutorial zeal that you're talking about, and it's ideological, clearly.
So correct me if I'm wrong here, but obstructing, you're looking at a maximum of 2 years minus 1 day, and $5,000 fine. And you also said that you're accused of mischief, which can go to a maximum penalty of 10 years in prison if prosecuted by indictment, which I doubt that that's what happened to you. You're probably looking at a summary conviction, which is 2 years minus 1 day, right? Similar to what Tamara Litch and Chris Barber were originally looking at. But as per a post that she made yesterday, we're going to talk about it later on, or might as well fucking talk about it now. They're looking at 7 or 8 years now. So is that what you're looking at too?
No, I was already sentenced, and I got a year's probation. I can't protest in Ottawa during that probationary period, and I have to do 50 hours community service. But even the community service was sort of misapplied. Like, it's not supposed to be a punishment. It's supposed to be some kind of like character development thing. And I have
You're going to work at the CBC?
Obviously. But we just character reference. I provided character references, at the initial trial, and they showed that I have been heavily engaged in community volunteering like my entire adult life. I had 12 years of coaching sports. I helped homeless veterans off the streets of Ottawa for my last three years in the military. And somehow it seems that I just need to do, in addition to the tens of thousands of hours I've already put in, I have to do another 50 in order to redeem myself. So I just find it's all very wrongheaded.
Did you see the new? Because you were shaking your head since I'm pretty sure you're aware of this, but I wanted to talk about it, so I might as well get your opinion on it while you're here. But Tamara Litch posted, when was it? Yesterday? No, 2 days ago on Saturday, that we learned that last evening the Crown was submitted their materials to our legal teams for upcoming sentence and hearing. They are seeking a 7-year prison sentence for myself and 8 years for Chris
That's
Barber.
wild. That is wild.
For they haven't seen the documents. At least that's the last post on that matter that I saw from her. But what the fuck? Because you're a bright guy. We've spoken before, so I know who I'm dealing with here. But what the fuck is going on with Canada's justice system? Would you say that it's been weaponized against protesters?
Absolutely. It's
a certain kind of protester.
Well, yeah, and
they're not going after the George Floyd protesters. I promise you that.
Absolutely not. The George Floyd protesters were out there during lockdowns, and nobody said a damn word. And it's called liberating tolerance, as per Herbert Marcuse, who is one of the Marxist professors of the Frankfurt School. That, and the Frankfurt School is kind of notorious for taking Marxism kind of to the next level, and it's really more about ideological subversion and institutional capture and these kinds of things these days than it is about any kind of like open conflict. So Herbert Marcuse wrote an essay, I think back in the 60s, where he talked about liberating tolerance, which to those of us who are not on the left is really more like repressive tolerance. Because it's carte blanche for left-wing causes with brutal repression for anything right-wing, or as you said, Robs, anything perceived as right-wing. Yep. I don't know that the convoy was necessarily a right-wing protest.
Yeah, that's why I made that correction. Yeah, it's not really, but I think they were able to place it in that box.
Anybody who stands up for the communist agenda.
Yeah, it wasn't woke, right? So as soon as you're not woke, you're considered right now. So
yeah. You're like
an I get that all the time. I am a liberal, but I'm a common sense one. I'm not woke, and I get called all the time right wing by other people on the left. So it's just, if you're not ideologically pure, if you're not one of us, you're one of them.
It is that it's a tribe. It's a political tribe, and I would recommend Yale professor Amy Chua's book, Political Tribes, on this, where she, I think, quite effectively makes the case that politics is tribal, and the communists know it. This is exactly what they did in Venezuela, where they have a white minority, but a white market dominant minority. This is another important piece too, is that humanity essentially hates market dominant minorities. And what Hugo Chavez did is he got up there and he said, my skin is dark, my lips are big, this kind of thing. So he would relate to the majority Venezuelan population, who were a mix of Amero-Indian and Black. And that's what he is he's a mixed race Amero-Indian Black guy. And so he got up there in front of everybody and made it all about race. And now we have this like socialism, which really plays to the tribal impulse in humans in Venezuela. And as you can see, it's absolute devastation.
Here's a comment that I'd like to get your opinion on. Carly Hamilton is saying it has definitely been weaponized against Tamara Litch and Chris Barber. They've also made Canadians afraid to protest about anything, and therefore can do anything they want without fear of reprisal. So the question I have for you is, will that stop you from protesting in the future?
I was a co-organizer for the 1 million March for Children.
Lobbing up softballs here. Here you go.
I know Jeff, right? I know what the answer is. Yeah. You guys don't. I'm just
like they say.
I'm introducing Jeff.
Like they say about lawyers, no good lawyer asks a question he doesn't already know the answer to. But go ahead, Jeff.
So I haven't let it stop me. I've been all over the protest scene in the last couple of years. I've been a little quiet on that scene lately because I'm dealing with this and other court cases. I kind of saw that key battle space shifting from the cultural into the legal, and then it was in the political, and I ran in the last election. Now I'm just tying up some loose ends with the election and the some of these court cases that I have, but I want to get back into the cultural battle space because I see it's kind of shifted back there now. And I was a co-organizer nationally for the 1 million March for Children. I ran the counterintelligence cell for them during the lead up, and I was lead marshal at the Toronto protest. So that's just one example of many protests that I've been involved with, even since the convoy. And that one, I think, was bigger. Like nationally, we probably had 1.5 million, according to our CEO. So yeah, I'm not letting it slow me down at all. I mean, I think the key to this thing, it's like, it's just like when you're standing up to a bully, when you're standing up to a tyrant, because at the end of the day, that's what a tyrant is. He's a bully. And as you can see, they're just as insecure as you would expect. But when you're standing up to a bully, there's two things that you got to do. Number one, talk to him like he's nothing. You don't give him any respect, any deference, not one bit, not whatsoever. And number two, because he's just going to see it as weakness. Number two, always double down. So whatever he's doing to you, you just do it right back to him. And I lean into these things. So when they're coming after me and trying to shut me down for engaging in protest, I protest even harder. And I think that's how we win.
Yeah, that's I think that's an excellent answer to that. And just to add on, I think to this comment from Carly, and I think it's important to get this point out for anyone who is, whether you're a classical liberal like myself or on the right, or you just really support free speech and you're involved in these sorts of protests, is much of these things. And you know, we were talking to John Carpe, and one thing that keeps coming up is the process often is the punishment. Now, you're somewhat in a unique position where they actually have gone through with charges and you've got a conviction. A lot of times they don't go that far, right? They just, the process becomes a punishment. Maybe after 12 months investigation, you've spent $20,000 on lawyers, barely gotten a good sleep at night because you're so stressed. Then they're like, oh, okay, we're going to drop charges. And then they can be like, hey, look, no harm, no foul. The charges were dropped, right? But I think that's exactly what Carly was getting to. And she followed up with that. She says, I think it has stopped a lot of people. And I think she's right. But it is encouraging to see that there's also another personality type who, when they get this kind of treatment, that makes it worse. That for them, like these people double down, like yourself. And it's really encouraging to see that there are people like that out there.
Thank you. And yeah, I mean, just as an example, sort of what you're talking about too, we saw this with the mandates, and one of the court cases I'm involved in here in Nova Scotia is, before the convoy, I had been arrested twice for not wearing a mask and refused service multiple other times. And I submitted Nova Scotia human rights complaints for every time I was refused service and or arrested. And of course they just said, yeah, go away. And I said, well, that's not good enough, and submitted a judicial review to bring them to take them to task. And now I'm having to appeal the results of that judicial review. But most of the people, I think, who got involved in that or who stood up to it at all, once they got that $2,600 fine, they were like, it's cheaper to pay this than to pay a lawyer. I self-represented, and that's what I've been doing. Yeah, you can absolutely do that. And, I'm not trying to pat myself on the back too hard here or anything like that, guys. But, we have a lot of really good tools out there that weren't available even just a few years ago. I have like ChatGPT for law. You can use Grok. You can use, any number. I run it through a bunch of AIs and see what I can come up with. That's not the finished product, of course. You can't really treat AI like that. But holy smokes. It's a powerful tool, man. It's a powerful tool. So,
yep.
What's next? So what's next for you, man?
Yeah. What do we got next?
So I have to have my next submissions for my appeal here in Nova Scotia with the Nova Scotia Human Rights Commission in at the end of the month. Also at the end of the month, I have to have some paperwork in to wrap up my election experience out here in Nova Scotia. And then I have a date for my appeal here in Nova Scotia, 8 October. I should have my election finance stuff like wrapped up by then. And then I want to get back into podcasting, social influencing, this kind of thing, because that's really what I was doing post convoy. I did a lot of podcasting. I miss doing it. I find that it's therapeutic. It helps to just talk about this stuff and kind of get it out there. And people have been asking me like, hey, when are you coming back? Like they seem to be hungry for this kind of content. And of course, I bring a bit of a unique perspective on things, just with my life's experience in the military and so forth. So I think I'm going to go back hard into the cultural battle space. And I just post-election, actually had all of my paperwork set up. We have a new Nova Scotia East PPC Association all stood up here. So I have all kinds of things on my plate, perpetually biting off more than I can chew. So
I mean,
this isn't the last of me.
You got to keep busy, right?
Yeah, that's right.
Question from Anger Kane. Does Jeff have a YouTube channel?
I do. Yeah, you can definitely find
promote
me.
it. Go ahead. Yep.
And well, I don't know. It's just kind of my personal YouTube that I've had.
Oh, I got you. No worries.
Yeah, so you can find me there. It's Jeff Evely. I'm not hiding from anybody.
It's mostly Jeff without a shirt on doing weird shit. So Angry Canadian, who knows if you want to go there or not.
It's mostly a backup channel for all the live streaming I did for Veterans for Freedom. So I streamed everything there too. And if you want to go back and look at my content and see what I've said about anything, it's all there.
Yeah. Let me know when you do start doing some podcasts again. I'm working on something for kind of rebuild the conservative movement.
Yeah,
more conservative people. So let me know, and we'll figure something out between the two of us, man.
Yeah, absolutely.
Take this question there before we sign off. Bumpy says, "What's Jeff's opinion on Bernier remaining the PPC leader and saying he wants to lead the party for another 10 years? Do they feel that would be better as an independent candidate in the future?" And feel free to be like, "No, I'm not going to touch this one with a 10-foot pole either."
Yeah, I mean, everything's still a little bit too fresh, I think, for me to give any meaningful comment on that. What I would say is that Maxime Bernier has been an absolute breath of fresh air since he founded the PPC. He's the only guy who's shown any courage or integrity throughout this entire process, through the whole ordeal of the last several years. He's a real warrior. I got mad respect for Max. I was just talking to him a couple of weeks ago. And I think that there are some lessons to be taken from our election results here recently. I think it would be foolish of us to just sort of chalk it up to external factors. Although the external factors were incredibly strong, no doubt about it. They ran a fear and hatred-based campaign on the whole Uniparty did that, and it worked. So I think that is the key driving factor, but also there are some lessons that we can learn, for ourselves as well to be a better party in the future. And I have plenty of confidence that Max is going to be going in that direction as well.
Yeah, you got great comments. Oh, Nico, your mic, you kind of had some quick mic problems, but says
fucking
as what? Yeah, I know, right?
Yeah, all I was saying is thanks for being here, man. Let me know when you do start recording again. You and I will talk. We'll figure something out. And
absolutely,
we appreciate your time. Let me know. Hit me up.
Love to have you back on, Jeff. There's obviously a lot of things I'd like to. Yeah, I'd love to dig in some things, but we gotta keep it short a little bit. But
no worries.
Appreciate you coming on the time. Also one blue noser to another. Always nice to see you. I grew up in Halifax as well, so it's always great to see another
mainlander.
That's right.
Yeah, right on.
Yeah.
And you know what? Like Atlantic is very tough territory out here for anybody. I would say classical liberal is a right. That's what I consider myself as well. That is a right-wing political position. So
I agree, 100%.
It's pretty tough out here for us. So we got to stick together.
That's right.
Yeah. See you later, brother.
Peace, thanks, brother. Guys.
Bye.
Wow.
There you have it.
Great guy.
Oh, I told you, man. He knows what he's doing.
Quality guest. I think if we had, I'd have people like that on the show every single day. Doesn't even matter what they're talking about. Doesn't mean he could have been talking about anything, and you can just tell someone who's just engaging like that. Love having those conversations.
So, what'd you guys think in the comment section? What'd you think of Jeff? Did you know Jeff? Was it the first time you heard about him? Because I've recorded with him before.
Yeah, it was me.
There was a comment somewhere. Where the hell did the comment go? Or am I seeing comments on the left that I'm not seeing on the right? That's very interesting. Purple Magic. It's coming from X. Purple Magic saying, "The bald and the beautiful." Yeah, you guys should do a show together. Yeah, I'm working on something right now.
That would be a great show. The bald and the beautiful.
So who's the beautiful? Because we're both bald.
We're
both what should it be? The ugly, the bald, and the beautiful.
Yeah.
We don't say who's who.
It'll change by the day.
Yeah. Yeah. But how'd you guys like him?
I mean, I got to feel like I think there's a lot of comments coming for him. I think I got a feeling like the viewers there. I think the chat liked him a lot. I liked him a lot. I just know all the time in the world for that kind of guy, no nonsense, straight shooter. I think the moment we're in, guys like that are going to be a linchpin, and I think there's inspiration you can take from that. We talked a little bit there about how the process often is a punishment, and it does. As who was it, Carly Hamilton said, I think it has stopped a lot of people. Undoubtedly, it has. It for sure does. For most people, and we've talked about this before, most people don't care about politics and they don't want to care. They want to live their lives with as little government interference as possible. Sometimes government interference makes it so you can't ignore that. You have to go out there. But when they start slapping $6,000 fines, there's a lot of people who are gonna be like, I'm just not gonna go. I'm not gonna deal with it. But that's exactly what they want, and that's exactly why they do it, and that's exactly why people like Jeff are so crucial. And when I say people like Jeff, I just mean people who, when they get thrown that kind of shit, they don't back down, they double down. And I think there's there's been we've talked a lot about this fourth turning, right? You've heard that meme quote, right? And I'm sure I'll fuck it up, but it's like weak times. Weak men create hard times. Hard times create strong men. Yeah, maybe you probably know.
Hard times create strong men. Strong men create good times. Good times create weak men. Weak men create hard times.
That's right. And when you see guys like Jeff, that's what they mean by a hard man. It doesn't necessarily mean a guy that's going around kicking everyone's ass, although I'm sure he could do that too. But just guys who go out there and do what needs to be done, regardless of consequences.
This is. During COVID, I realized that I would stand up for my rights no matter what it meant. And I'm kind of happy that happened because it showed something about me. Now those things, like he's saying, 100. No, it exposes. It wasn't building. It was already there. I just didn't know.
Yeah.
Right? Because it's easy to say, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that outside of the situation when you're not being hit with something, when your livelihood is not in peril. And I just said, you know what, fuck you all. I'm gonna trust my gut on that one. And I love guys like Jeff because those are people that I know. Again, I've said this before, but the zombie team, right? That's a guy I'd have on my zombie apocalypse team because
yeah. You're
I know. I'd go to war with a guy like him.
And you know what? As an ex-military guy myself, one thing that stood out for me, and I think a lot of people might miss this, but you remember he was talking about. They were doing shifts at the memorial, right? And he said, I was the one doing the shift list, and he was the one that was up 4 a.m. And like right away,
that's leadership right there.
Like that's a leader. Because in the military, you see it all the time. It's a small thing, but man, I'm telling you, you're out there in winter exercise, it's minus 30. You don't want to get up at 2 a.m. And the guy making the list very often gives himself the nice cushy shift at 8 p.m. to 10 p.m., right? And all the other guys. And that's a small thing, but it shows character. I'm sure Jeff didn't even think about that, but there are leaders in the military who do that. The do. Yeah, I see you smiling. It's the guys that lead from the front. I'm going to, we got to do something hard, but I'm going to be right there with you. And I'm telling you, in the military, and not just the military, anywhere where there's leadership, those guys, you'll follow those guys. You'll charge with those guys into a machine gun nest. You follow those guys into war, and that jumped out at me right away.
Yeah, it's a good dude. He's definitely a good dude. We just need to find a way to bring him back. He's like a Jason from the US too, right? That there's specific things you can bring him back whenever you need him. We need to figure out the same thing. Or Jeff, 100%. He's a great asset.
Even when he was talking about how he was like, I'd like to get more podcasts. I was thinking like, I don't like just fucking fondling guys' balls and shit, but I'm thinking like he's good at it. Like that's a strength of his. You can tell just
he does it all the time. Yeah. He does it all the time. I've recorded for hours on live events with him. It's just it's fun to have somebody that's extremely knowledgeable and that has that knowledge on the tip of their fingers.
Yep.
Right?
100%.
So very, very cool, dude.
Joe Stradamus, as he says, I will always listen to guys like that, even while disagreeing with 100% of positions. It's good to know how people get there. Yeah, and that's a great point, Joe. You don't have to agree with all the positions. you can even disagree with every single one, but like he's a guy that carries himself with respect, and he will respect you. And guys like that, they don't even need to demand respect; they just get it. And I think, as you said, Joe, whether you agree or disagree, a guy like that always has a place to talk, at least on a show like this, where we value that, right? Value the argument above all else.
And unlike us, he doesn't swear. If you
No,
notice,
no.
he's very he's very good.
Maybe there's a lesson to be learned.
Hey Jeff, if you're still there, fucking pussy.
Fucking Boy Scout.
Pussy, Jeff.
Yeah.
No, but he's a great guy. I'm happy that I was able to reach out to him and get him on the show.
I'd have him back any day.